Hello everybody. I am going to do a live stream on how to paint iRacing cars and trucks, and do it more of a tutorial instead of a live stream. I'm sharing my screen with you, and I've had several requests on how to do this, and I'm not going to do a typical YouTube video where I simply record stuff and then piece it together and throw it on YouTube. I'm just going to do it as a live stream like I normally would my other live streams. If you are just joining this stream, or if you're checking it out after the live stream, myself and my brother, we do a almost nightly live stream of iRacing. We have a good time, and we're called the Flying Aces, and we more or less just hang out with guys and just chat it up and enjoy car racing, various forms of it, mainly with NASCAR oval racing, on occasion dirt and whatnot. But let's get started with this. Thanks for tuning in and watching this. If as I go through this, if you need to follow along, don't be afraid to pause it, rewind a little bit. I might skip through some things, and so if you need to, pause it, and we'll come back or you can come back and watch at any time and get caught up with me. So first thing you're going to want to do, I use a program called Paint.net. It's a free program. It's similar to Photoshop, but it doesn't cost anything, so that's why I use it. There are other programs out there such as GIMP and maybe a couple others, and I know that Paint.net is free and it's pretty user friendly. Once you learn how to use it, it's pretty daggum simple to use. So first thing you want to do is you'll go to do a Google search. I've already got it typed in, Paint.net download. It'll come up to this link. You'll click on that link, and you want to scroll down, and you got two options here. One is the download now through I don't know what that is, and then you got to get it on Windows 10. Now this one you'll have to pay for. If you want to buy it through Windows, you can. I don't know how much it costs, maybe $3, $4, $5. I have no idea, but I do know that this version right here is free. It's the actual version. Paint.net is a donation-based program, and a lot of people do use it. So you'll want to click on that, and you'll just install it like you would any program on your PC. Okay. Fast forwarding a little bit here to paint, using Paint.net to paint iRacing templates, you're going to need the Photoshop plugin for Paint.net. Again, you're going to need the Photoshop plugin to put into Paint.net so you can paint iRacing cars. So you're going to go to Google or your favorite web internet search, and you're going to type in, it's called a .psd file extension. .psd file extension. Okay, and what I have tried to do is, you'll have to search down a little bit, but through the forums at Paint.net, there is a .psd file extension. Okay, and you can find that about anywhere. They're on here. You know, I'll go to this one. I don't know. This is not the one I use, but you'll find the .psd file extension. Where's the download on this one? Probably right here. I'm not sure. You can find the .psd file extension about anywhere. So it'll download to your computer. All right. Let's pretend that it's already downloaded. And I'm using Chrome, Google Chrome, so it'll pop up here at the bottom. You'll go down here and you can open the file, and what I do is cut the .psd file extension and cut and copy it, and then you'll have to go into, give me 1 second, let me think, is it, let me see, it will go in, it's in your iRacing folder. No, I'm lying to you. It is in, I need to find paint.net under programs. So let me go to Windows. Alright, program files. You'll go to paint.net. Again, I went to my PC. I went to Windows, I went to program files, and I went to paint.net. Okay? And under the file types, you're under your program files, paint.net. Under your file types, you'll just throw it in this folder. That .psd file that you cut and copied, you're going to right click, and I don't have anything to paste, but you'll paste it in here, and it becomes that photoshop.dll. Okay, that's as simple as it gets. And you'll just close out of that, and then next time you open Paint, after you download paint.net, all right, let's pretend we've already done that. That's my. All right, you'll come here and you'll be able to open up the program paint.net, and that's what it looks like. Okay, now we have to have a template to paint. All right, and that's where you go into iRacing. If you're an iRacing member, you can go here to the home page. Let me get a quick sip of coffee. I'm an avid coffee drinker. You're going to want to go to Account, hover over it, go down here to Custom Paint Schemes, and you can customize your car. This is where you choose which car you're going to want to be painting, because we got to go get the car template for what you want to paint. Now today I'm going to be painting an A-Class Monster Energy Cup car. Alright, this has been on my agenda for a while now, and I figured I'd do a tutorial. And is it this one? There's two different cup cars. That is, okay, this one right here. This is the current one used on iRacing, and you do have to buy the car, of course. If you're familiar with iRacing, you know you'll have to buy the car. So this is the current gen cup car. I think it's Gen 6 if I'm not mistaken. And you're just going to download that template. Now I've already got it downloaded, but I'll go ahead and show you what we're going to do with the file. You'll notice that it's downloading a zip file. Okay, down here at the bottom of my Chrome browser, I always click that little arrow and go Show in Folder. Okay, and right here it is. It's titled a 46 underscore template Ford Fusion. FF stands for Ford Fusion. I've bought the Ford Fusion. I double click on that, and there it is, the Ford Fusion Gen 6. Now what I'll do is I'll cut that. Okay, then you're going to want to put it, what I suggest you do is have one folder for all your iRacing paints. Okay, and I always keep mine on my desktop. It's iRacing paints, and you can see here I've got a lot of paint schemes, all of them with their special folder, their individual folder. Alright, but now I have created one for templates. Now here's what all the templates look like that I own, that I paint. Now if I went right and pasted this, it's going to ask me, do I want to replace that one? But after you paste it, it'll show you Ford Fusion Gen 6. Doesn't matter what you're painting. You know, if you buy a Tundra, or here's my Tundra, there's a street stock, there's the Legends template, IndyCar, the new Dallara, the old, no, this is the new one, the IR18, the old one's the DW12. You can paint helmets. Here's my B-Class Ford Mustang. There's my Gen 6 Ford Fusion. Driver suits, my dirt sprint cars I paint, and then this is the K&N series Chevy Impala SS. But just remember which folder you've put your templates in. Again, mine's iRacing, and I made a folder called Templates. Okay, I've made a folder called Templates. So you'll go back into your paint.net. Now I'm going to look for that template so I can start painting that thing. Okay. So you go up here to your Open. this little folder up here, and then it's on a folder on my desktop, iRacing Paints. And because I've already got that templates folder that I made, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to find my Ford Fusion Gen 6. That's what I just downloaded from iRacing. All right. And this is where, for me, I love iRacing a lot. I enjoy the hanging out with some of our live stream buddies. I enjoy the racing itself. I'm addicted to racing. But I really enjoy the painting of the cars. And to me, a good paint scheme is not good unless people are commenting on it on the track. So I like to stick with just somewhat funny sponsors, but could be legit type sponsors. For example, today we're going to be painting a Waffle House Ford Fusion. Okay, it's a legitimate business, and the color scheme, in my opinion, is pretty with the yellow and the white and a little hint of black. And so we're going to go with Waffle House. I've got several paint schemes, and I'll tell you where we're going to find paint schemes later on and how to upload them to be used on iRacing. All right, so what we're going to do, anytime you see an end layer group paintable area, you don't need those. So me personally, you can leave them. I personally just delete them. I go hit my red X down here. You got to highlight this, okay? For example, if that one's highlighted, you can't just go here and delete that one. You're working in layers. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here it says layers. Over here on the right, everything is in a layer. Okay, that's what you need to understand when you start painting. Everything is layered. All right, so here's some layer I never use. I delete that, and I'll scroll all the way up here to the top. I don't need that one. The layer group. I don't need any copyright. I don't need that one in layer groups. Again, I don't know what those are for. I don't use them, but I know you don't need them. Okay, and that should be all of those. Now here's a group layer group patterns. I delete them. Now, I'm going to quickly go through and describe what each layer is and why it's important. I'll make it brief. You got your base layer. If you uncheck it, you see what removes from the template. Okay, that's your base paint. I can come over here. I can paint that any color I want. You don't have to. A lot of times I leave it as is, but it won't show up on your final product. But that's your base paint. If you just wanted to paint a solid black car and go out and run it, you could do that right there by coloring that black. Okay. Now, these things here, these are from iRacing. Now, they come unchecked. But once you check on them, like car pattern 23 for the Ford Fusion is that. All I did was come over here and click this box. I unclick it and it disappears. I might want to use that one today, so I'll unclick it and I'll go down to 22. Ooh, that's nice. That'd be nice. I might use that one. 21. No, there ain't no way I'm using that. So I'll highlight that one by clicking it, and I'll come down and hit the red X. On 20, I won't use that one. 19, not going to use that one. 18, not using. 17, no, way too loud for my tastes. All right, I feel like Bob Ross a lot when I paint these cars. I like stuff that fits what I like on a race car, and everybody's different. That's the beauty of iRacing. You can put whatever you want on your car. Don't know about that one. No, not crazy. That's cool, but not up for that one. That one, no thank you. No thank you. What I'm looking for is one that lets me paint the top of the car and just the top part of these side panels, and I'm going to have everything down below white. You need to have an idea of what you want on a race car as you're looking over templates. Now that one won't fit what I'm looking for. 11, that won't fit what I'm looking for. Here's 10, nope, doesn't fit what I'm looking for. 9, nope. 8, no, I don't like flames. 7, no. And another thing with Waffle House, I'm going to need the entire quarter panel here open. So I don't need any underpaint. I just need this quarter panel open so I can put a big Waffle House logo there. So that's what I'm looking for too. It's just whatever you want to do. It's your canvas. You put what you want to on your car. No. Let's see, 4. Ooh, now that might be okay. But I'm afraid this wheel well paint might go up into my. Tell you how I can tell right now. Sponsor layers. Excuse me. Sponsor layers. This layer up here at top, I went and clicked on. And this shows you where you can put sponsors anywhere you want. This is where they are suggested. Okay, see, this would go over top of that blue line underneath. So I'm not going to use that template. Template number 4. Okay. Number 3. Now, that's more basic. I'll pass on that one. 2. That's nice right there. That is nice right there. What I could possibly do is paint this red and the blue yellow and have this neon green white. That's pretty. I might roll with that one. Well, let's see right here. Now this would be okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. You can paint most of your top part and a lot of your top quarter. You can delete any of this stuff down here. I was just looking for something fairly easy to paint. Okay. Let me see. Let me think here. Would that look good? Let me go back up here and delete this one because I know I'm not going to be using that. Although that would, no, if I went yellow, no, that would contradict with my Waffle House logo. Okay, here, and here. Nah, I'll pass on that. There's that. All right, so I'm going to use that one. I'm going to use that one. Yes.
Can you take a break?
No. Hang on just a second. My wife just got back for groceries.
It's not a lot, but...
Let's see, that was just a blank one, total car paint, so we'll delete that. So here's my 2 options I've chosen to choose from. That one or this one. And I think I'm going to go with this one right here. No, I've never used this one, so I'm going to go with, and again, you can use whichever one you want. I'm going to go with Car Pattern 001. That's going to be my base layer. All right, now my pit buck, first and foremost. Again, I've said I'm using Waffle House, right? So I've already got a bunch of Waffle House. I've got a Waffle House Racing folder, and I've got their main logo. Okay. You know, when I loaded it, it was big. What I do is hit Control and scroll with my wheel on my mouse to make that smaller. Alright. I'm going to go over here and use my magic wand. I'm sorry, I'm lying. My pick color. It's right here. And I'm going to get the exact yellow Waffle House uses. Alright. And if you notice, that put that color right here. I'm going to go here and add this to my palette, and I'm going to replace that yellow as the Waffle House yellow. Okay. So I've got my colors. You know, these are my colors I can use. You can go in and hit more and you know, adjust any color you want through here. And it even comes with the hex code. That's the actual color code of the color you've chosen. Okay. So I'm going to, first and foremost, I'm going to paint my pit box colors. So on iRacing, when you come down pit road, here's your pit box colors. Again, what I've done is hold Control and using my mouse wheel up and down, in and out. All right, that makes it larger. So your pit box colors are down here in the bottom left. I'm going to get my paint can, my paint bucket, and I'm going to color that yellow. And this one, that's my secondary color. Okay. Scrolling back out. I'll wait on the camera bubble on the rear of the car. Roll bar, this is the color you see while you're in the cockpit. It's located right here, this big gray box. I'm going to make it yellow. Now, on the Cup cars, at least on the Fusion, you're going to have these black side window blackouts. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and paint those yellow. I'll wait till the end and you see how it looks, but I think I'm going to paint the lower grille blackout layer. You're going to find that right here. See, now watch this. I've accidentally got windshield selected, but I want to paint this lower grille blackout. If I go here, it's going to paint everything yellow. So, I realized I made a mistake, so just go up here and hit undo. Make sure you got your lower grille blackout. I'm going to leave it black, but if I wanted to paint it yellow, that's how you would do it. Okay. But, alright, the windshield. The windshield, it's your sponsor. It goes over your windshield. On the Cup car, and I've not painted a Cup car in a while, so it's right here, this black one. Alright, let's see that. We'll have to come back and paint that later. For some reason, this doesn't take too well on this Cup car. But that's where you would normally do it. I'll come back at the end and put another layer over top of that. Alright, your color change decals on the Cup car. That's for your Goodyear. That's for your Ford logos. Your tape is your grill tape. You'll find that. I think this might be your grill tape over here and such. Upper Ford decal, I'll always turn that off. The rear camera. You can just look at all these different layers and click on them, and you'll see things disappearing on your template. Now the parts. These are everything that can be painted on your parts. Car decals. If you notice, the contingencies and all those disappear. Here's some more tape. Right here is a layer of tape. Okay. Now the mask is the gray part that you see behind the car. Okay. That's just more or less visuals. Now the key thing I use is this wire. And I'm going to scroll in here and show you what I'm talking about. See this green? I can paint this right here, this part below that green. It's not going to show up. Anything from your green above will show up on iRacing. You can see closer back here this rear fender well. You know, if you paint this, it's going to show up. It doesn't matter about this back here because that's not going to show up. Okay, so let me cut off the wire. Okay, now we're getting ready to speed things up a little bit. I'm going back to my base layer. And this is going to become a Waffle House car. So I want all this green painted yellow. So I'll usually go to my magic wand. I'll click on it there. Now I want to select multiple. I've still got my magic wand over here. I'm going to hold control. I'm going to click on what I want yellow. See how it's highlighting all that? All that can be painted. And anything you want, as long as you hit control and click on it, as long as you got your magic wand selected, you can paint it. This speeds up the process significantly. Okay. I don't know if I want these side skirts yellow or not, so I'll wait on that. Okay. I want that white later on. So all this, you can just get your paint bucket, start painting away. Just click it, and it all becomes yellow. The Waffle House yellow. Okay. There's more, all yellow. Again, that's yellow. Anything I want yellow, I've already highlighted and painted. So I'm going to go up here to edit and then deselect. I'm sure there's a keyboard shortcut I'm not familiar with, but I'll go to edit and deselect. Alright. Now, I'm not going to want these bars on my paint scheme down here at the bottom. I want all this to be white. So it's just part of your car pattern. I grab the eraser. I make my eraser bigger, so 30. See my brush become 30 point instead of 2 point. Now you can just highlight it and hit delete if you want to, but I typically don't do that. And it's the easiest way, but for whatever reason I don't like doing that because sometimes it leaves little pixels on your car and I don't like it. So what I do is just grab the eraser and do this right here. Okay. That's one way. That's the way I typically do it. Doesn't mean you have to. The easiest way, probably the easiest way, is simply just painting it. Okay. Just simply painting that. So, I want all this to be white, so I'll go to the paint bucket. Just go ahead and paint that. Paint that. See, right here's what I'm talking about. You get a little bit of those fragments left over, and they will show up on your paint scheme. That's why I don't do it. That's why I typically don't do it. See what I'm talking about? Now, if I don't go take care of that, it's going to show up. So what I'll do, if you noticed, all of it went to white up here and up here. And all your base now is white. So let me go ahead and grab a paintbrush. It's under your paint bucket. 30 point width is, oops, wrong color. I need to switch that. And all I'm doing is just getting rid of all that. Okay, and again, I'm painting the car pattern, the main template. You can run it over these and it won't turn them white because again, it's in layers. It's above. These contingency stickers are way up here somewhere. So I'm painting down here. Okay, and I always get this layer here, get out all the yucky stuff from the Goodyear. Okay, and I scroll up here while I'm thinking about it and get that under the Goodyear. Okay, what I'll do here is just do this. I'll just go ahead and paint this white over top of it. Takes a little bit more time. That's why I said highlighting is the easiest way, but it just takes time. To make a paint scheme, it takes about an hour to do. Okay. Alright, so now that's the side of my car, what it looks like, what it's starting to look like. And I'm going to want this entire back panel to be white. So here's my primary color. Bam. Alright, see, it still leaves that little trace of stuff on the outside, so I always go back here and get rid of those little fragments, or they will show up on iRacing. I encourage you not to get lazy when you're painting and just leave stuff, because it will show up and it makes your paint look awful, in my opinion. We'll go over here. Try to touch up anything. Now I've got some decals here on the front that wrapped around. If you don't pay attention, there's little decals part of your pattern. If you leave them, I mean, it's going to show up neon green. Waffle House is not neon green, so yeah, it'd be something to. And every paint scheme has stuff like that. Every template, so just look out for them, especially around your headlights and stuff. If you're painting a truck, some of them have little lines around them. Okay, now I want, if you'll notice, there's a blue pinstripe that separates this yellow from the white, and I'm going to want that black. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to get my paint bucket, and I'm going to make sure I hit the blue, and it's going to paint that entire line black. Okay, here's some green. I'm going to make sure that's black. Up here's a little blue piece, make sure that's black. Okay, let's go here on the rear deck lid. Make sure that is black. Attention to detail. That's why I say I feel like Bob Ross. Okay, make sure this is black. Okay, see, here's a little blue part I may have missed had I not noticed that. Just be on the lookout for little fragments. They will show up on iRacing. Okay, now that is my base paint. Okay, now this part right here on the A-Class car, at least on the Fusion, is an insert that goes right here. Okay, so this, I'm going to want that to be white to match this up here. Okay, you should probably, I've never noticed it, but you should probably just go ahead and paint that too. I've never noticed. Now, the only thing I don't like about a white car is when I go up here and turn back on my wiring, it's hard to see. See these, the lines, the grid, so to speak. And there's, let me get a different. This little line that goes right up through that Ford logo, that's the middle of your car because it's straight up and down. You might use that later on when we start putting a logo or something right here. You might need that grid to see the contours of your car. Let me show you what I'm talking about real quick. I'm going to make this gray. Now you can see the contours of your car. You know, the top of the bumper's here, and there's going to be an indentation right through here. See what I'm talking about? You can see how the layout of the car better. Like the hood is a great example. There's a lot of contour in the car, especially on the trucks. The Toyota Tundra I use, there's a lot of contour on that hood. Each car is different, but that's that. So this part right here is an insert up here.
What are you sending me?
Okay.
Why?
Alright, so we're still working on our base pattern. This is from iRacing. I'll go ahead and remove my wiring. Okay. And again, still got that highlighted. I can paint anything I see here. Now I need to make a decision on these side skirts. I think I want them white. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and get my paint bucket, click on it, make them white. Yep. There we go. I'm going to make this one white. Instead of having those little fragments, I'm going to click on that and see it takes all of them off. I did that with my paint bucket. Okay. And look, some of this stuff, I don't know what they go to. For example, this part, I have no idea what that goes to. I am not sure what that is. But it's trial and error. Alright, so I got my pit box colors. That's down here in the bottom left. My camera bubble. Now we're needing to look. Oops, sorry. The camera bubble is right here. This is where your camera goes. Alright, I'm going to want that yellow. Oops, that is not the exact camera. It's right here. That's your camera bubble that will go inside of this. And the camera will actually be whatever color you paint over here. That's your camera bubble on the Fusion. Roll bar color I've already taken care of. That's right here. That's the color of your roll bar in your cage.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Your in-car view.
Yeah.
What are you guys using? What are you doing?
Marco Polo.
What is Marco Polo?
It's like you send video messages.
Video messages. Oh man, like you need another one.
What's that one long?
Like an Instagram or something, or what's the one? Snapchat. You need another program on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
You want to say anything else? Because I'm recording you.
No, I don't.
Okay. What's that one?
I have a teenage daughter that's listening and watching my tutorial here. Alright, now let's make a decision right quick on these side window blackouts. On the Ford Fusion, here's how this would look. You know, does the black look better or the yellow? I don't know. I'm going to go with black. No. Yeah, I am. I'm going to stick with yellow. See these little fragments? Go ahead and color those in. Okay. And I'm only painting the side window blackouts. And I'm using my paint bucket. Paint bucket is huge. You can get a lot done in a short amount of time with the paint bucket. Okay? Now, what about you know what? I'm going to paint it yellow. This is the lower grill blackout. I'm using my paint bucket. I went ahead and painted that. Alright, I'll come back to the windshield. Color change decals. Now here, I don't know if I want those black. I've got my color change decals highlighted. Oh no, now I've lied to you. I bet there is a Goodyear. It might be under parts. Trial and error. That's not that. Go undo. Let me find it. Heck, it might be part of our car pattern. I doubt it, but no, it's not. Pit box color, camera bubble, roll bar, side windows, lower windshield, color change decals. It's not under tape, I know. Nope. Upper Ford decal, that's not it. Rear camera, nope. Parts, car decal perhaps? Yes, there we go. It's under car decal. This is the Ford, and every one's different. Let's see how that's going to look. Yeah, it'd look good. We'll go black. Here's how it looks, is yellow. We'll pull it out here. Again, I'm holding control in my wheel scroll on my mouse. I think it's going to look better with black. Okay. I'll go here, 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 here. And what I might do is make this Goodyear logo yellow. Okay. That's what it's going to look like. That's Waffle House colors. Over here's my other one. No, shoot. You can see the fine detail in the pixels of these paints. Okay. There we go. That is the Goodyear. Now let's find another. Now this bottom part in the right here, I want to say that is part of the window blackout, the side window blackouts. And because I've went yellow, yes, they are part of the side windows. I'm not sure what that goes to, but it's all part of the side window blackouts that I've chosen to go yellow with. Alright, now, lower grille we got, the windshield, again I'll come back to that. Color change decals, I'm looking right here. We're going to go here. We're going to go, oh no, that's not that one. I've lied. That's probably under parts. Color change decals, what can we possibly paint here? Alright, let me pull this out here. Now sometimes if you just come over here, and just start clicking layers, you can see things disappearing. Alright. I noticed that my fusion is part of this color change decal, and I don't see anything else as I click on it. So I want that to be black. I'm going to leave that black. Here's a good example. I'm going to scroll in. Up here on one of these lights, there's a blue little speck. And I'm glad I noticed that, or I wouldn't have painted that. So I'm going to go back down because that's part of my original car pattern from iRacing. I'm going to get a white color here and my paintbrush. I'm just going to cover that up. Okay? Alright. Now, color change decals, I think we've got every one of them. Now the tape. Let me make this bigger so I can see. Where is my tape? Alright, over here on the left. And notice on the hood, these little dots, that's tape. Okay. If you'll notice right there's another white or a blue little piece of speck. I went back down to my car pattern and got that. Alright, so I've got 4 strips of tape on my hood, and I've got tape right here too. So let's highlight that tape. I'm going to get my paint bucket. I'm going to paint that yellow. Over here on the hood, I'm going to make sure these are black. I don't know if that's originally from the iRacing pattern or not. So I'm going to make sure it's painted black. Have to select my color over here. Black, 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 and black. Okay. So I think I've got all my tape. This might be tape too. Let's check. It is not. I'm not sure. Let's see, is that part of the car pattern? The answer is yes. Okay. So there is our tape. We have taken off the upper Ford decal. I usually don't race with that. Now the rear camera, that is right here. I'm gonna make that yellow. Okay. Now the parts. I think this is, I'm gonna try to paint this. Yes, I am. Alright, I'm gonna paint that black. What if I go here? Yeah. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it's gonna look pretty good. Alright, now with the parts, there's a lot of parts on this car. And you just kind of randomly click on stuff, and if it changes the whole color of all of it, then you need to hit undo. Alright, so I'm just going to start clicking. I know that needs to be black for no reason. These I'm going to make yellow. I don't know what they are. It's probably in the window. I've made those yellow. See what I'm talking about? I accidentally clicked on something that's not a part, and it changed the entire paint. So I'm just going to hit undo. Okay. What is this? It's not part of the parts. This is tape. I remember that being tape, so I'll come back and click on tape, make that yellow. Oh, no, it's not either. Is that under parts? Nope. Ooh, what is that? What is that? Oh, it's this tape. There's two different tapes. Okay. I was right, and I had the wrong layer. Okay, tape over. Rear camera. I've already got that. Now the parts. This green stuff will be part of the parts. Okay. What is that? Nope, I don't know what that is. That was an accident. That's a part. That is not a part. Alright, my part's my windshield banner, I believe. Yes, it is. Okay. I don't know why windshield banner is listed separately from the parts, because I remember earlier I went and hit windshield banner and it did not change colors. So I'm going to let me go ahead and tell you now. To put a logo over top of this, you have to have something above this layer. Remember, this windshield banner is part of your parts. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to add a new layer. And if you noticed it, put a layer right here. Now I'm going to come right over here and rename this under Properties. That pops up, and I'm going to call this Windshield Banner Logo. So later on, I'll come back, and when I'm putting my logos on, put a logo right here. And that goes over top right here on your car. So on the racetrack, you'll see Waffle House here above the windshield. Alright, now the car decals. What does that do? Alright, that's just those. Contingency sponsors. Alright, we've got our tape. Let me make sure I don't see any more tape that needs to be painted. Okay, I've got everything. Got that yellow. Numbers, here's where your numbers are going. You know, those are assigned by NASCAR. You can't. What you can do if you want to get creative, you can paint like in my case here, like a yellow box around them. Might look good, might not. I typically don't. Or if you wanted to put something underneath your numbers, you know, this would be the place to do it. But I don't, that's just showing you where the numbers are going. Sponsor layers. See that yellow box, that blue one, these pink ones, that's where your sponsors go. Okay, and then our wiring. Alright, now I've got to figure out at the end, because I didn't paint this blue thing. I'm not sure what it is, But what I'll do is go back here and I'll kind of figure out. I'll click yellow. Yeah, it was part of my original pattern. This, I'm not sure. I don't know what that is. That black box here. It might be under parts. Let's go back up to parts. That's what it is. I'm not sure what it goes to, but I made it yellow. This is, I think, my rear spoiler. And there is no spoiler. The trucks are good for this. They have a spoiler layer. But I think you just paint it. Yeah. Make those yellow. So that would be your spoiler. And what is this thing over here? I don't know. We're going to paint it yellow though. Now these two boxes over here on the left is probably part of the tape. Maybe not. You just trial and error. Alright, it's not part of the tape. At least not that layer of tape. Is it part of this layer of tape? No, it's not. Because it changed everything. So, is it a decal? Yeah, it is. I don't know why. That's a decal. I'll make both of them yellow just for Waffle House purposes. This is not a black car. This is a yellow car with black trim. Okay. So I don't see anything on here other than my ethanol, which I think is under parts. Let me go up here and paint this. That's where your gas goes in. And if you leave any of this green, it's going to show up green. So I'm going to make it yellow. Okay, now there's too much of it on the E. I tell you what, I'm just going to leave that green because it's getting, I'm just keep hitting undo. And I'll pull it out here and you can see as I hit undo. Oh, let me go back here. Okay. Alright. Now I've got everything painted on this car, I believe. Now it's time for your sponsor logo. So you go back down here to your car pattern, your base car pattern. All these other layers up through here will be on top of your car pattern. And then now I'm going to create another layer. And I'm going to title this Logos. Alright. So now when I put my Waffle House logos, I'm putting it on this layer, which is above the iRacing layer, the main iRacing layer. So with Waffle, I'll go back into my folders. I'll go over here and open. Most of my cars, I like to put a nice Flying Aces on it. And my Wheelman logo. On my live stream, if you haven't watched it, I've given myself the nickname the Wheelman, which is actually a joke because I wreck on pretty often. But anyway, here's my Waffle House. Now I know right now I don't want this trademark, so I went and grabbed my eraser. And now this is a PNG format, PNG format, which means only thing you're going to see is the color part. The background, as you can see, is non-existent. Okay, so I'm going to go with my eraser and erase that trademark. Now, on this, I'm going to start here with the rear quarter panel. I know I can't have waffle and then house down here because the house part would be hidden in behind this fender well, the wheel well. So what I do is I'm going to get my rectangle select, top left up here, and I'm going to scroll in a little bit, and I'm going to put it at the bottom of this layer, not any of the black, and I'm just going to drag across, and I'll go up and just let go of it. So I've only highlighted the waffle, and I'm going to go right here beside my scissors. There's the copy button. I'm going to copy that, go back into this. I'm on my logos layer. I'm going to scroll in, and I want my house to be about right here because my number logos are going to start right here. So I can go all the way over to about right here with Waffle House. So because I've got waffle highlighted and selected in my logos layer, I'm going to paste that onto that layer. That's way too big, of course, so you make it smaller. Okay, and condense that. I'll pull that down about right here. You can't go too low or you get down. Now the wiring won't show up as well. There's my wire. You can see right here I'm close to that green line. So if I went down here, even though it looks like it's above that fender well, it's not going to show up. This part won't show up because it's below that green. So what I want to make sure I'm doing is about right there. And I can extend this upwards a little bit too. If you'll notice really close, there's some white lines at the top here. That's part of your wiring, showing you the contours of the car. If I went too high, I mean, it's so tough to tell. So I'm going to set it right at the top of that contour line right there. Okay. Now I'm going to go up here and deselect my wiring. I'm going to scroll it back out. And that's what, let's see, I think I can fit a nice house right here under Waffle House. So I'll edit and deselect because I had waffle selected. I'm going to go back into this. I'm going to grab the word house. My rectangle right here. And I'm just going to copy that part of that image. And I'm going to scroll in here a little bit and I'm going to hit paste. I'm still on my logos layer and hit paste. And I'm going to make this smaller. Right on par with waffle. And you just kind of set it the way you want. Okay, that looks pretty even. Okay, that looks even. And I want some separation between waffle and house. Okay. And if I edit, deselect, there we go. That says Waffle House, as you can see. Now, I'm still on my logos layer. I'm going to scroll in, and because we're only working with this Waffle House layer of logos, hit your rectangle. And I'm just going to highlight this. I'm only copying, because I'm only working with that layer, that Waffle House. I'm going to copy that. Scroll back out. And I need to put it on the other quarter panel. So I'm going to go up to Image, and I'm going to rotate this image 180 degrees. So in other words, flipping it. Okay? I want to put it right here. I'm going to scroll. I always like to scroll in and get a better look at it. I'm just going to hit paste. I'm still on this same layer. Paste. Look at that. Now I'm going to compare. Is it close? Does it look relatively close? I think that needs to go down just a little bit. Let me go up here and click on my wiring and make sure it's not at, see, yep, it's at the green. There we go. There's my wiring. Alright, that's where I want it. I'm going to edit and I'm going to deselect because I've got the Waffle House logo layer selected. Deselect. Okay. Now I just want to show you this because I'm still on logos. If I decided to put the Waffle House logo on my hood, here's how it's going to show up against that yellow. I don't like that. I want the inside of these boxes to be white. So I'm just going to hit delete right quick. Alright, now we'll image. We got to paint back here on the back, and we got to paint the hood. So I'm going to go image. I'm going to go counterclockwise and bring that hood down at the bottom. So I'm looking at it this way. Got some wiring. Now you can see the contours of the hood. You can see that it goes down here. You can see the layout of the hood. I'm going to put this entire logo. Now remember, I had house selected, so I'm going to go edit, deselect. Now I'm working with the entire layer again.
Are you talking to somebody?
I'm going to select that entire layer. I'm going to copy that. Nope, I don't need to copy it yet. I'm going to paint inside of these boxes. Right there. That's what's going on my hood. Now I'm going to copy that. I'm still on my logos. And I'm going to paste that. That's massive, right? We're going to just grab it, drag it, make it smaller. Now we're dancing, people. Look at that. Look at that. That's a beaut. I want to make it as even as possible. Heck, I might make it a little bit larger, a little bit wider. See this line right here, this white one I'm talking about? That's probably where the hood starts going downward. So I want to bring this side over just a little bit. And that's going to look really good. Okay. All right. Now, while I'm here, remember this part down here on the bottom is the insert that goes right here. So I'm going to go back here, and I need the yellow again. So I'm just going to hit undo, get rid of all this white. Okay. I'm going to copy that. Now because I've got that selected, I need to hit edit, deselect. And I'm going to go back up to my wiring. And this is tricky on this Fusion, because you can't see any of the wiring on this paint, right? So what I'm going to do is temporarily paint this layer, this insert, a darker color. So you go back down to your car pattern, because that's part of your car pattern. And I'm just going to do this right here. I'll come back and paint it white in a minute, but now look at the wiring. So you can see. You can see. Now also the sponsor layers. This shows you roughly where it's suggested you put your sponsor. This white line right here on the Fusion, if you go above that, it's going to start contouring back outward. Okay, if that makes sense. Down in here, this kind of goes inward. So what I'm saying is, on the Fusion, you probably want to stay between this line and that line. And roughly, this paint box is a great suggestion. Okay, so I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to go back to my logos, and I'm going to, let me see how this one would look. I'm going to paste it. Of course, pull it out here, make it smaller. Let's see how this is going to look. I'm going to try to go below that and above that one. And I'm going to get rid of my sponsor layers. Okay. I'm still on my logos, just working with the logos. Let me pull this outward here. See how that looks. That looks really good. So I'm going to deselect. I'm done working with that. Now I'm not going to leave that gray, so I've got to go back down here to my car pattern 01 from iRacing. I've changed my color back to white. I'm going to go here with my paintbrush, zoom in a little bit, and just color that back white. Okay. And get rid of my frame, my wireframe. There we go. That's what it's going to look like. Get rid of my number boxes. I like to put a logo right above the rear windshield. So I'm going to go to Image, Rotate. Okay, and I want this Waffle House here in white above that. So I've got a little doctoring to do here. I'll go back to my Waffle House logo, get my paint bucket. I'm going to paint this white again. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to get my rectangle box. I'm only going to be using the waffle right here. That's what I'm going to use first because I'm going to make it say waffle and then house on the right. So I'm going to copy what I've selected. I'm going to go back in here and make sure I'm on my logos. Okay, and this is a good time to use your wiring because you can see where the car, even on your roof flaps, it's okay. You can see the contours of your car. I'm going to paste waffle right there. Scroll out, make this smaller. See, it's still entirely too big, so you right here. About right there would look good. And waffle probably come over about right there a little bit. Okay, that should leave us H-O-U, 5 letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, roughly here to, yeah, that'll be good. Let's go back here. And now I'm just going to highlight, and with my rectangle box up here at the top, the word house in Waffle House. I'm going to copy that, bring it back over here, and I'm going to paste that. I'll make that as high right there. Good. Scroll over, pull that in to about there. Now, see, you noticed I have houses real small and waffles real big. Not good. So, what I'm going to do is stretch out that to about right there. Okay. I'm going to leave house there because I think that's plenty big enough. I'm going to edit and deselect. Now, because I'm still on my logos layer, I can get my magic wand and I can delete. I can just hit, because I've highlighted everything I wanted, and hit delete. I can do that. Easiest way, because I only did that because I was working around this H. I didn't want to delete any of the H. So I go, now what I'll do is get my eraser and scroll in a little bit here. I need to make that smaller. About a 10-point font's perfect. Okay, and I'm just deleting the word waffle. I need a bigger font. Let's go 100 point on that. Just delete that. I'm going to come back up here and grab waffle again. Copy that. And I'm going to paste waffle. Okay, and then pull that in to about right there. So now that says Waffle House, as you can see. Edit, deselect. Okay, I'm going to cut my wiring off and get a look at it, and that's how it's going to look on my car. Waffle is still a little bigger than house, but that still looks good, I think. No, it doesn't. That would kill me. Let me, because I'm still working my logos layer, I can only copy the waffle part. What I'm going to do is move it over just a little bit. I'm actually going to cut and then paste again. There we go. And I'm going to deselect, and I'm going to go highlight with my rectangle the word house. I'm going to cut that, paste it back. I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. Make it a smidgen bigger. There we go. Get some separation between waffle and house. Okay. Edit, deselect. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, now what else needs to be painted? Now it's important to remember before you save it, make sure it goes back to its original, the way it points. So we know our hood pointed towards the right, so I'm going to go clockwise here. That's the way it's uploaded. If you upload it and it facing a different direction, it's really jacked up. Extremely jacked up. I believe I'll put Waffle House on the deck lid too. So I want my original. What color is that? It's yellow. So I want this entire graphic. I've just selected it all. I've copied it. I'm going to put this on image. I want it to go to the right, so that would be counterclockwise. And because I'm still working on my logos layer, I'm going to paste that onto my logos layer. And I want that sitting right there. I mean, you don't ever see that on track, but it's just one of those things. Image and clockwise. Again, you want it facing to the right. Okay. Now, and I'll have Waffle House right here on the back of it. So when this part right here will be right here. All right. Now let's go to our above the windshield. Above the windshield. So image clockwise. We're going to be painting this layer right here. So remember, I created a layer earlier called windshield banner logo, which is above the parts on the Ford Fusion, because the parts is your windshield banner. I don't know why this windshield here is titled windshield, but anyway, your parts is your windshield banner. I've created a layer above the parts so I can put a logo on this part right here. Let me show you the wiring. Okay, this is a good reference here, so I'm going to go the word waffle again. Now let's start with house. Let's start with house. Copy that. And I'm going to, because I'm on my windshield banner logo that I created, I'm going to paste that. Okay, that should be good for house. Good. Edit, deselect, go back to my Waffle House logo. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to paste that. Got to resize it. Shoot, about lost the air. You know, when I'm zooming in, again, I'm using the control button on my keyboard and my wheel on my mouse. Scroll up means to zoom in. Scroll backwards means to zoom out, like I'm doing now. Now, does that look good? I think it does. I think it does. I might want to extend that just a little bit. I like it. So edit, deselect. And I'm going to make this house a little bit more condensed. And I'm still using the windshield banner logo layer I'm going to copy this house part only. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to paste it right back into place. I'm just going to slide this over a little bit. Now that looks much better. Edit, deselect. Okay. Don't ever forget to cut off your wiring, because if you leave that wiring on, you're going to be on the racetrack and see all these white lines. Okay. I think we have what we're looking for. Let me get it back to its original. So we'll go counterclockwise here and get it back there. My racing group is the Flying Aces. I like to put our logo on them, and those fit perfectly here and here. So I'm going to go back down here above logos. I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to title this Aces layer. Okay. Now you don't have to do this. It's just my personal preference. I'm going to copy our logo, and I'm going to go put it right here. Paste that. I want that a little bit wider. Our online racing club. Because I've got this layer selected, I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to flip my image right quick, and I'm going to go put it back here on this quarter panel. Just drag it over here, set it there. Make sure it's roughly in line. Yep, it's there. Okay. While I'm on this side of the car, I'm going to put my Wheelman logo. I'm going to get my rectangle, and I just want this much of it. It is a ping file, so none of this part outside would show up, but I just want to work with it with a smaller area. So I'm going to copy that, what I've selected. I'm just going to paste that here. Make that a bit smaller. I am a Joey Logano fan, so that is Logano, his silhouette. Let's see. It might go better back here. It will. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to use both these graphics. Deselect. I'm just going to go get this. I'm going to go with my rectangle, my selecting rectangle. I'm just going to cut that. Paste that over here for the time being. Cut that, paste it. I'm going to put that back here. Rectangle. Grab my rectangle, my cutting rectangle. Cut that, paste that, drag that right here. Okay. Alright. I'm going to put it back here on the rear too. Let me do 180 and I'll just flip the car around. I'm going to move this one up here. Okay. So I'm going to get my rectangle. I'm going to highlight or crop out. Cut that, paste it back, throw it over here. Double check. I'm a little bit above the dots. That looks good. Pull out, and it's about even with the side post of the car. Good. And then go back here, copy that, and paste that. We're almost done, people. Almost done. And we'll throw this back here and move that in. Okay. Okay. That looks really good in my opinion. Okay, now I want to put a couple little logos back here on the back of the car. And because it's white, I don't see the contours of the car, so I'm going to turn on my framing. Okay, still can't see a lot. So what I'm going to do is come back down to my original car pattern. I'm going to color this in gray a little bit so I can see some, oops, I must have something select. Yeah, I do. My wheelman, it wouldn't let me, because see this wheelman down here is highlighted, so you got to deselect that. Now, I'm still back on my car pattern original, so I'm going to paint this right here gray just to give me a visual of where the contours of the car is, because I want to put some logos back here on the bumper. I go back here and turn on my wiring. See that now? That shows you the contours of your bumper. Alright, so I'm going to go back down to, I want to put my Flying Ace logo on here. Go back to my Aces layer. Come back here, I want to copy that. And I'm going to paste that right here. I want that sitting right there. Okay. Now to make double sure, I want to make sure no numbers or anything will be here. So let's check sponsors. Nothing goes back here. If I don't check that and I get out on the track and I look and my number might be over top of one of my logos, and I don't want that. So let me check my numbers. See right here. That's where your number is going to go in your car. So anything down here will be visible. Okay. So I'm going to put the Wheelman logo. I'll copy that. I'm still on my Aces layer that I've created. I'm going to paste it. I don't want it very big. That might be big enough right there. Okay. And that looks, pretty much in line with my Flying Aces. It's not like I don't have it like completely jacked up over here or whatnot. It looks like it's going to be symmetrical. Okay. That looks pretty darn good right there. Okay. Now I'm going to deselect that. Now I'm not going to leave all that gray on my car, so I'm going to go back down to my original car pattern 001, because that's what we're painting here. I'm going to grab my paintbrush again, make sure I've got white, and I'm just going to paint this again. See, I can paint, I'm actually painting underneath all these layers. This Flying Ace layer, the Wheelman layer, the iRacing number layer. I'm painting underneath all that. Alright, now I want to make sure I turn off my paint boxes, my number layers. I unclick that and those go away. My sponsor layers go away. And last and certainly not least, uncheck your wiring. That gets rid of. So that will be my paint that I'm going to upload to Trading Paints. Leads me to my next point here. To get this to work on the track, let's go through that process. This is the easy part. Okay. This is where a lot of confusion happens. Now, again, I've got the iRacing template. This is what you see. I've put my own, what I want on that car. And I'm ready to upload it. Okay. So from here, when you're done painting, you're going to go up to File. You're going to go down to Save As. Alright. Now it's by default titled Ford Fusion Gen 6. Now it's that .psd file. That is a Photoshop file that I'm running in Paint.net from iRacing. This is the iRacing template. Alright. Now I'm going to save this as the .psd file. And I'll tell you why in a second. But where I'm going to save it, I'm going to go up to my iRacing paints. This is something I created, and remember I create folders for everything. This is going to go in my Waffle House folder. Here's my Waffle House Tundra I've already made, my Mustang, a Waffle House helmet, and fire suit. But I'm going to retitle this Waffle House Fusion. Okay? And I'm just going to save that as that. Now, I just saved that PSD file. This is not what you upload. I've saved the PSD file, so a week from now after I've raced this, I've decided I want to add to it. Instead of having to repaint the entire car, I can go back into this original, after load it up into paint.net, I can go back into this original file and I can change anything. Let's say I want to take off, I don't know, I really don't like the Wheelman and Flying Aces logos on this car. I can just go uncheck that, okay, and they're gone. I can still be working with this later down the road. I don't have to go repaint the entire car, okay. So I always save the .psd file for my own personal use. Now, here's where we're going to start uploading the cars. After I've saved it as a PSD file, I'm also going to go up to File and Save As a TGA. TGA is what you upload to Trading Paints. So I'm going to save this Waffle House Fusion as a TGA file. And it's going to shrink all these layers over here on the right. It's going to shrink it into one. It's going to ask me, do I want to flatten this image? Yes, I do. I'm going to click OK. Do you want to flatten it? Yes. Now you saw all the layers over here on the right go to one flattened image. Okay. Yeah, that is saved as a .tga file. Again, that's what you upload to Trading Paints. No, I've already saved it. Okay, now to upload on Trading Paints, you need a JPEG file of your work. Alright, so initially you need to go File, Save As, and just save that as a JPEG. If you can see up here, these are on-track photos that I go back and later upload to Trading Paints. But for initially, you have to have something. So I'm going to just save this right here as a JPEG. Okay. And we're done with the painting part. So I'm going to just exit out of, I don't need to save those. Now, let's go to Trading Paints. You're going to need an account. It's a free account. Okay. What am I? I am just J.W. Salyers. If you want to see some of my paints, you can go to Trading Paints and search J.W. Salyers, Salyers. Okay, 16 people has liked some of my paints. Anyway, now to upload, go to this arrow right here, the upload arrow. And I am not a paid member. Okay, so I don't paint inside of Trading Paints. My brother Eric does, but I don't. I paint on paint.net program. But I'm going to publish my completed original work. So choose a paint file to share. Right, you find it on your computer. Again, mine's under iRacing Paints, under the Waffle House. Now, you're looking for, mine will be this fusion, one of these two fusions. I hover over and it tells me it's a paint.net image. Alright, I saved it in paint.net. That's the TGA file. Okay, that is the TGA file. I'm going to double click. I need to make sure you select, because this is a Ford Fusion. Let me find the right here. Monster Energy Cup Ford Fusion. Okay, I'll title it the Waffle House Fusion. I'll copy that, and here's the description. Now, I remember I saved it as a JPEG. You got to have a JPEG. Right here's the JPEG. See? There's a Waffle House Fusion JPEG. It's processing. Add that to the showroom. Okay, my paint has been posted. I'll close that. And to use it on the track, you just go hit Race This Paint. Confirm. Okay. I'll favorite my own work. I don't think there's any rule against it. And now that thing is ready to run on the track. Okay. Let me think, am I forgetting anything else before I sign off here? I don't think so. Again, it is ready to race on the track. One thing I'll mention when you're back in iRacing, because you do need to paint your numbers, because these should come straight from iRacing. Let me go up here and select the A car. See, where is the A car? Where is the A car? Oh, I tell you where. I am not an A class right now, so I don't have the option to, I can test. Let me find the Monster Energy Cup Ford Fusion. Okay, so it brings it up here. You're going to want to go right here and click on Paint. And it's going to bring you up what you just saw right here. Okay. Now down here, you can change the color of your car, which you don't want to because you're choosing to race your own personal. You go to car number right here in the middle. Here's your first color. All right, I usually try to make that my primary color. A little bit darker. You just got to play around. Now, if you wanted to get specific, you can go over here. You can go back into trading paints. I'll show you how to do that. Go back and not trading. I'm sorry, paint.net. And that yellow I found from Huddle House. You can click on more, and right here is your hex code FFF200. I like to copy that, and I'll bring it back out here. And for whatever reason, it's the only way you can do it that I found. You come to iRacing's code, and then just to the right of it, hit paste, and then here's iRacing's code. You got to delete that and hit backspace, and that's the actual exact match color that you used on your paint scheme. Okay, and then I'll make this black. Just drag that down to black, and that's what my numbers are going to look like. Okay. And your wheels, I'm using chrome wheels now. So again, you leave iRacing's paint code there, and I know that my chrome wheels need to be E8, E8. All right, and I come here and delete iRacing's code, and I got to make sure these wheels are chrome, and that's what they're going to look like. And you just click save, and that is it. Give me 30 more seconds here and let me think if I'm forgetting anything. Took you through the painting process. I wrote a couple of notes down on my hand. Showed you how to save that, where to find the files, the painting process. We saved as the TGA. We uploaded the TGA. We also saved the JPEG, and then we've uploaded. So I will say this: trading paints, you need to run the program as well on your computer. In order for your paints to show up, you need to run that. This is what the program looks like. Alright, it's just a little box, and I always leave it open while I'm racing. Once you get out on the track, it may take a minute or so for your paint scheme to download, but while you're on track, to refresh your paint schemes, hit Control and R, and it'll refresh every paint scheme on there. And again, I don't know if you need to do this, but I do. I always leave my trading paints program open. You just kind of minimize that down to the systems tray down here at the bottom. But that's it. Tell you what, let's go test this car on the track right quick. And it should have my Waffle House uploaded. And I'll take you through a quick process of how to get an actual picture of your car on track and upload it back into Trading Paints. Give me a couple more minutes here. I'll let iRacing open up. I know this has been a lengthy tutorial, but there is a lot to painting a car. But the more you do it, the easier it gets, and that's one of the biggest reasons I love iRacing, is the ability to paint. Alright, so we're going to test. Again, my car is just default now. It's loading up. You can see the yellow roll bars. I know that my Waffle House is loaded up. Make a quick half lap here on at Phoenix. Whoa, she's a bit slick. Yep. Which, if you've watched any of my live streams, you know that's not uncommon. Let me back up real quick and look at these Waffle House fire suits. I painted those. That's my Waffle House right there. But let's go out and look this car on the track before I spun it. Sorry about that, Waffle House. Didn't mean to give you bad publicity. There she is on the track. Okay, the Flying Aces showed up well. The Wheelman logo, let's take a look at it from various standpoints here. Goodyear showed up well. Okay. Waffle House showed up well. There's our yellow camera. You can go Control F12 and bring up your camera options if you don't know. I can zoom in a little bit. Slide left or right, up or down. See the Waffle House above the rear window showed up well. That looks really good. Only thing that I don't like is that this Flying Ace is down on the bottom. I might need to raise that a little bit. That's why I saved the original PSD file. I can go back in and edit that real quick instead of having to repaint the entire car. Okay, let's see. Jeez. Get a front view of this, the hood view. Make sure the hood logo looks good. I would need rear chase. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that lined up well. That's yellow. I wanted that yellow. That's your... I forget what it's called. But, yeah, and see the Waffle House turned out well above the windshield. So, that's it. That's exactly it. That's what I wanted. Now I'm going to find a nice usually it is TV1 that I like to get. Back this up a little bit. Right there we go. So I'm going to go Control F12 again. And Control, oh, wrong button, sorry. Control F12, get my camera back up. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. Okay. Wrong way. Wrong way. Shoot, I wanted to go left. I need to go... No, daggone it. Well... Alright, I need to use my arrows. That's what it is. There we go. Alright, so we'll minimize that. Get rid of that. Now you can go Control and Print Screen. And that will make a copy of... That's a screenshot. Control, Print Screen. And I'm going to quit. Okay, and I'm going to go back in here to my Paint.net program, and I'm just going to paste. Alright, yeah, I chose to keep canvas size. You just move this where you want it. Let's stretch it out as where this is the paint that you're going to upload to Trading Paints, this picture for people to see. Okay. We'll edit and deselect, and I'm going to file and save as a JPEG, because you got to upload JPEGs to Trading Paints. And I'm going to title this one Fusion on Track. Okay. Save that. Bam. I can get out of paint.net. I'm going to go back in here. Alright, and you can find your paint scheme and just hit edit. And I'm going to select pictures from my device, and it is going to be Fusion on Track. Okay, and I can delete that original one. And then I'm going to update the paint. So there we go. So if you're going to look, if you go into Trading Paints and you're looking for the Waffle House car, there it is. You'll see that picture instead of a generic picture. And that's it, people. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I think I've covered everything you need to learn how to paint with paint.net. And it's pretty much the same process. The painting process might be a little different with Photoshop or GIMP or something like that, but that's the process on how you upload your paint schemes and add layers and stuff on your paint schemes and have a good time painting. So, thanks for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. And that's it. As far as I know, it's all I can remember. And thank you for watching.